Once hailed as the most dangerous woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey revolutionized women's MMA, smashing her way through the UFC with ruthless armbar submissions. But after a shocking fall from grace, she vanished from the octagon, until now. A single training video, just one post, has set the MMA world on fire. Could the former queen of MMA be planning a return? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Before we dive into this comeback speculation, let's rewind to Ronda's legendary rise. In 2012, Ronda Rousey became the first woman to sign with the UFC, and in her debut, she introduced fans to her signature move, the lightning-fast armbar. She wasn't just winning, she was dominating, finishing her first 6 UFC opponents, 5 of them in the first round. Her fame skyrocketed, from Sports Illustrated covers to Hollywood movie roles. Rousey was the face of women's MMA. But as bright as her star burned, it also burned out fast. In 2015, Holly Holm shocked the world, head-kicking Ronda into her first professional loss. A year later, Amanda Nunes delivered a brutal knockout in just 48 seconds. 2 devastating losses in a row. And just like that, Ronda disappeared from the fight game, leaving fans wondering if they had seen the last of her in the octagon. After MMA, Ronda didn't vanish entirely. She rebranded herself in WWE, becoming a top star and winning championships. Fans embraced her, but it wasn't the same as watching her fight for real in the octagon. Despite success in pro wrestling, many hardcore MMA fans still longed for her return to real combat sports. Fast forward to 2025. Out of nowhere, Ronda posts a video on Instagram, training alongside none other than her former UFC rival, Cat Zingano. The caption? "Forgot how fun this is." Just 7 words, but enough to send shockwaves across the MMA world. Could she be hinting at a return? Is she testing the waters? And more importantly, would it even be safe for her to return? Fans flooded the post with comments, some begging for a comeback, others warning her against returning. After all, Ronda has been open about the concussions she's suffered, concussions that made her question whether fighting was still worth it. But now, with her back in training, fans can't help but hope. Some speculate she might be gearing up for a grappling-only return. Others whisper about a shocking MMA comeback, possibly a final, farewell fight. If Ronda were to return, make no mistake, it would be massive. The UFC has been on fire with stars like Sean O'Malley, Islam Makhachev, and John Jones making headlines, but a Rousey return would dominate the media. Old rivalries could be reignited. Think of a rematch with Holly Holm, or even Amanda Nunes if she ever unretires. New stars like Juliana Pena or Raquel Pennington could be worthy opponents too. But is this even possible? Now here's where the reality check kicks in. In past interviews, Ronda has been clear. She's not coming back. She said that the accumulation of head trauma, particularly concussions, makes it unsafe for her to fight again. Fighting, she said, isn't worth risking my health and future. So why the training? Why now? Let's dive into some possibilities. Staying in shape. Maybe Ronda just wants to stay sharp, have fun, and keep active. After all, martial arts has been her life. Helping others. Training with Cat Zingano could mean she's helping Cat prepare for a fight or coaching others. A grappling match. There's been a huge rise in grappling-only promotions like Polaris and Submission Underground. Perhaps Ronda's eyeing a return in a safer, non-striking environment. A WWE storyline. Let's not forget her ties to WWE. This could all be part of a future wrestling storyline to create buzz. A final UFC fight, a send-off, and of course, the most exciting possibility, a one-fight comeback. Maybe a fight on her own terms, her rules, her opponent. A way to walk away on top. And why Cat Zingano? Remember, Cat was one of Ronda's most notable rivals, and the two shared a fierce bout back in 2015, which Ronda won in just 14 seconds via armbar. But both women have always had mutual respect. Now, nearly a decade later, their training together has stirred up so many questions. Could they be prepping for something together? A grappling match? A dual return? But while the excitement grows, let's not ignore the risks. Ronda's history with concussions is no joke. Fans and fighters alike know that head trauma is a serious issue, one that can lead to long-term damage. The sport has evolved to become more conscious of brain health, and Ronda stepping back into a full-contact fight would raise huge concerns. Still, imagine what a Ronda comeback would mean for women's MMA. Her return could reignite attention to the bantamweight division, which has been searching for its next dominant champion since Nunes' retirement. Young stars like Mayra Bueno Silva and Irene Aldana could find themselves facing one of MMA's biggest names. It would bring eyes, money, and excitement back to the division. So, will she actually return? Here's my take. While it's unlikely we'll see Ronda Rousey in a UFC fight again due to her health concerns, I wouldn't rule out a grappling match or a special event. Something like Metamoris, Polaris, or even a UFC Fight Pass exclusive event focusing on submission grappling. It allows her to showcase her legendary judo and grappling without taking punches. And let's face it, a grappling match between Ronda Rousey and Cat Zingano, that would sell out instantly. At the end of the day, Ronda Rousey is a pioneer. Whether or not she ever steps into a cage again, her legacy is already cemented. But this training video reminds us, legends never truly fade away. Sometimes, all it takes is one spark to ignite the fire again. And if Ronda does come back, in any form, you can bet the whole world will be watching. But what do you think? Is Ronda Rousey planning a real comeback? Or is this just training for fun? Would you want to see her fight again? Or should she stay retired to protect her health? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into MMA's biggest stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In a shocking turn of events, UFC lightweight contender Jalin, the Tarantula, Turner has officially announced his retirement from mixed martial arts at just 29 years old. A rising star who had all the tools to dominate the lightweight division, long reach, devastating striking, and a submission game to match. But now, Turner has decided to step away from the sport. And today, we're diving deep into what led to this decision, what this means for the UFC's lightweight division, and whether this is truly the end for Jalin Turner, or just a pause before an epic comeback. Turner, known for his massive frame for a lightweight, standing 6 feet 3 inches with an 80-inch reach, was always a nightmare matchup for anyone at 155 pounds. But behind that towering figure and fierce fight style, something was shifting, and now we know what it was. In his own words, Turner confessed to a loss of focus and passion for the sport, something that many fighters battle silently. It's easy to see only the knockouts and highlight reels, but few understand the mental grind that comes with being a top-tier UFC fighter. His latest fight at UFC 313 against Ignacio Bahamondes was a war, but not the kind of war Turner wanted. Despite his reach and skill set, Turner couldn't find his rhythm. Bahamondes kept the pressure, and for many fans, it was evident something was off. And that loss may have been the final straw. Let's not forget, this is a man who tore through ranked opponents. Remember when he dismantled Brad Riddell with a guillotine choke? Or his stunning TKO win over Jamie Mullarkey? When Turner was on, he was on. A scary combination of height, reach, and precision that left fans and fighters alike on edge. Since entering the UFC in 2018, Turner racked up a respectable 7-5 record, climbing to number 13 in the lightweight rankings before his last bout. But if we analyze those fights closely, there were moments, cracks in the armor. Losses to guys like Dan Hooker and Mateusz Gamrot were close, but showed that while Turner was elite, something was missing to break into that top 10 echelon. And here's the real question. What does this mean for the lightweight division? With Turner stepping away, a slot opens up. New blood, hungry prospects, and veterans looking for another run. The lightweight division, arguably the deepest in the UFC, just got a little more interesting. Could this open the door for fighters like Arman Tsarukyan to rise faster? Does this give someone like Rafael Fiziev another shot to climb? Or even an opportunity for returning veterans to make a statement? The landscape shifts when a ranked fighter walks away. But before we move on, let's take a moment to appreciate what Turner brought to the sport. A soft-spoken warrior outside the cage, but a monster inside. Known for his love of tarantulas, yes, real spiders, and a calm demeanor, Turner always carried himself like a true martial artist. Win or lose, he brought excitement, danger, and unpredictability every time he stepped into the octagon. And perhaps his most important legacy? Opening up about the mental side of fighting. By admitting that his passion and focus had faded, Turner gave us a rare look into the psychological battles that even the strongest fighters face. This isn't just about wins and losses. It's about the human being behind the gloves. So, is this really the end for Jalin Turner? In his post, he left the door open. And if history has shown us anything, in MMA, retirements can be temporary. Fighters often return when the fire reignites. So, while the tarantula may be gone for now, don't be surprised if you see that name on a UFC card in the future, hungrier and more dangerous than ever. Fans have poured in with love and respect, recognizing that sometimes, stepping away is the bravest thing a fighter can do. And whether he returns or not, Jalin Turner's story will inspire others to prioritize their passion, focus, and well-being. So here's a question for you. Do you think Jalin Turner will return to the UFC? Or is this truly the end of the Tarantula's fight career? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have that conversation. And if you respect Turner's decision, hit that like button to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe for more UFC news, breakdowns, and fighter stories, right here on Cage Combat TV.